gotta hear this one song. It'll change your life, I swear. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to, you gotta fill out your forms. Conundrum. Think you could, maybe listen while you fill out the forms? Yeah, okay.
Love me, baby, it's okay. You don't love me, you in love with the gold chain. Fuck me, baby, it's okay. All I do is young bitches and cocaine. Shined up, baby, it's no shade. Watch your bitch throw it back while you throwing shade. Blow now, where you wanna go now? Wherever you want, I'ma hold you down. For me, baby, it's okay. All I do is young bitches and cocaine. I ain't never quit, there's no way. I know you see me making.
Hey, what's poppin', guys? I just quickly want to tell you guys about the night that Peep spent with Post Malone, and they were hanging out in London. Now, this happened in July 2017. It was one of the only times that Post Malone actually got to hang out with Gus, and when you watch his interview that he did with Ethan on H3, you can tell he was very emotional in that interview. Even just a small crevice of time that they used to actually speak about Peep, you can tell, man, that he looked like he was getting ready to cry. So that says a lot about the person, the kind of character that Peep was. The fact that Post Malone was able to spend that much of a short amount of time with him and bond with him and connect with him to where he's literally choked up on revisiting his name for like a matter of 2 to 3 minutes in the interview. That's heavy stuff, man. So it's really cool. I just think that these are the kind of opportunities that we are robbed of when we lost Peep, and that's why they call it untimely. You know, not everybody accomplishes everything that they want to do in their lifetime before they leave us. You know, that's why it sucks, man, whenever these accidents happen and people leave us, whether, you know, it's fucking a car accident or, you know, a heart attack or a drug overdose. It just sucks because everything that was going on just stops, and that's it. It's the end of it. And with Peep, you know, it's thank God that he recorded so much music and that he worked and grinded and put in so much overtime, because that not only equated this very powerful brand and this everlasting legacy, but that's the reason why it will sustain and continue to generate success and millions of fans and still save lives of listeners. Like, that's what Pete wanted to do, you know? He said in his Double XL interview he wanted to change lives. He wanted to actually touch people, and his goal was to be revolutionary and to change music. It's very safe to say that in the short amount of time that Peep had, he accomplished all of those goals. He did just that. So it sucks that he's not here to understand that. It is good that you guys gave Peep a lot of love when he was playing live, and that you always engaged with him on social media and kind of would pat him on the back, because he knew how big he was getting right before he died. So at least he has that. The thing about these albums and these features and these mysteries, like, you know, we have so many questions and, you know, little answers about so many unreleased songs. And the problem is, you know, even with part 2, Gus may have taken a lot of those answers with him when he left us. And some of these guys, like the producers involved, just don't want to talk about it. Or, you know, they won't ever just do an interview and actually just put everything on the table and just answer everything for the fans and give closure. But, you know, again, this all kind of relates to the fact of someone leaving untimely. So I'm sure if Peep and Post both knew that, hey, I'm gonna die on November 15th accidentally, we should probably work and make music and shoot videos and do it right now. I'm sure Post Malone would have been like, fuck, dude, goddamn, well, let's record a whole album together and shoot a bunch of videos right now then. And, you know, that same example can apply to everybody, even Tracy. If Tracy had a crystal ball and he was able to see that Peep was going to die in November, he definitely would have picked up the phone and said, sorry, let's fucking chill. Let's, you know, get back to where we were. Let's fucking make a new album, and I want to get on the tour. They would have done that in a heartbeat, guys. So you know, this is what I try to say when I tell you guys that, you know, his artistry was robbed of so many dynamics and so many possibilities. Even Future and Young Thug, guys that Peep looked up to, they would have worked with Peep, guys. They would have. You know, there's a reason why Juicy J worked with Peep before he even had an album out, because he heard all the noise he was making. He heard his sound. He knew it was iconic. He knew that he was going to be eventually a very big player in the game, and that he had game-changing music. So, you know, the more music he put out and the bigger he would have gotten, more people would have gravitated towards his graces. So it is cool that him and Post Malone got to hang out in July. Now, to give you guys a backstory, there was definitely a massive mutual respect here. Peep had a lot of respect for the music that Post was putting out, and Post thought Peep was making some really cool music that was very fresh, and that it sounded very brand new, and it sounded very innovative. So, you know, he also stated on Twitter that Nose Ring was hard. So, you know, once he was tagging Peep and stuff like that, letting him know, like, hey, not only do I like your music and, you know, you're getting my attention, but I'm posting this for millions of my fans and followers to see. So, you know, I'm sure Peep was very grateful to things like that. You know, you guys don't understand that. Some people don't understand. Even that's why some people fall out. Like, you have an artist who gets really hot and then his sidekick doesn't. They can split up just because the guy who blew up didn't post his friend's music or didn't repost it, you know, so that stuff does matter. You know, if you can put out a single post of a file and 15 million people have the opportunity to see that, that's huge. So, again, there's so many ways to break this down. It was really cool that Post Malone was promoting Peep's music, even if he took a second out of his day to say, hey, Nose Ring is fucking hard. That means a lot. So, you know, I'm sure when Peep met him, you know, they kicked it off, and I'm sure they had a lot in common. You know, they both come from this very, you know, kind of emo, alternative punk rock element root. They all kind of really had a love for the same kind of music. In fact, Post Malone first started in like an emo alternative band. He had a really good voice back then too, guys. And that thing he does, that kind of signature vibrato roll, he did that back then when he was a kid too. It's just really cool. But yeah, man, it just was awesome. So to see these guys like listening to Sublime and singing Please Don't, and then, you know, listening to Nose Ring, it was just awesome. They also went to a club together and they all had a really good time. I'm sure Smoke a Sack, if he could build a time machine and go back and force these guys and push them into a studio that night, he would have. But again, you know, that's the thing when you pass away untimely. Not everything on the bucket list gets done. So it's just really cool that we have clips like this, and the fact that, you know, there was someone around that said, hey, let me get my phone and record this, because this is definitely an iconic moment, and it was. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if it's one thing about Post Malone, man, it's you don't have to be a fan and be subscribed to his music to understand that this is a very talented kid. He made it, he accomplished his dreams, and he's a big guy in the industry. This is a guy who put out a lot of huge fucking songs over the years, and basically a guy who cuts a rent check to the fucking charts, because he's pretty much lived there since he started his career. And I just wanted to highlight the night that Peep chilled with Post Malone and they listened to Please Don't and Nose Ring. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Like blue eyes, a double chin and a plastic smile. Well, so I'm raised as he walked in the door. It took me in to see next to her at the bar. I'm in the car. Nike G employee, just like slave. Getting LeBron a big take your daughter shopping. I hate you. Make them niggas famous, they get Airbnb.
Close friends with Lil Peep.
Yeah.
That was sad, man.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
I met him in London, and he's such a fucking good dude, and he was really like such a good guy, such a talented fucking dude, and he was gonna fucking change music for fucking ever, and it sucks, dude. It sucks.
Fucking changed music forever, and his music is gonna live on forever, so it don't even matter, to be honest. Rest in peace to Lil Peep. I love you to death. You're the fucking shit.
Hellboy, baby, I stand